Tell me
Going that
where
way.
you live and what you do.
Let's go.
I'm from Houston, Texas, and my organization, Lost Inside, is designated to help people who have mental health. I personally have depression, bipolar, anxiety. Lived with it all my life. I am a 4-time suicide survivor. My first attempt when I was 7. A lot of times people who have my mental afflictions, they feel like they are alone. Nobody understands, nobody cares. We know it's a lie, but it's the biggest lie that we believe. And a lot of people don't know how to express themselves. I've been blessed with to be able to be a writer, so I'm able to express myself and express my feelings through my words. Other people can read my stuff and relate to it. I try to bridge the gap between the caregivers and those who suffer with mental afflictions, letting them know, hey, this is how I feel when the afflicted can give to their caregivers so that they can better understand. A lot of times the caregivers do not understand. They don't understand how depression works, how you just can't snap out of it, things like that. So it's sharing our personal experiences, sharing my experience, not forcing somebody to share theirs. And usually when they hear my experience, they start agreeing, they start wanting to share their experience, tell what they've gone through. So it's kind of like a AA meeting, but on a grander scale.
When you say caregivers, who do you mean?
Parents, they don't understand them. They want to understand, but the person who has the depression or the bipolar, schizophrenia, anything, it's hard for them to put into words what they're feeling. So when they hear somebody else able to do it, it makes it easier for them, because a lot of times when we start thinking we're being judged, somebody's not actually listening to what we're saying, they're tuning us out. So when you hear somebody sharing the same thing that you're going through, it makes you want to share yours. So when you share yours with somebody else will share theirs. And a lot of times we suffer in silence, and this is the best way so that we don't have to suffer in silence anymore.
There is a push in recent legislative sessions to kind of take care of the mental health needs and especially the public hospitals that take care of those that suffer through some of these things that you're referring to. Do you feel like Texas has historically ignored those kinds of needs, or how do you feel that Texas has approached the mental health topic?
Texas is slowly going there. They're slowly starting to understand. There is a lot that needs to be done. There's a lot of work ahead that needs to be done. I've personally been through this where a psychologist, just because they're mad at you, can have you committed against your will. I had to spend a Thanksgiving in a mental hospital because of that. I was taking a psych test. They didn't like some of my answers. I questioned them on it, and they had me committed. And at the time, I was going through a depressive state, but that just made things worse. So we are starting to get better now. It's been, I think, 12 years since that happened to me. But there is a lot more that needs to be done. That stigma of going through a depressive state needs to be understood better. It doesn't mean that we're sad all the time, that we want to kill ourselves and things like that, which is the first things that people think of when they hear that somebody's depressed. So we are working to break that stigma. It is a slow process, but it is a process. And Texas is starting to slowly accept this and slowly start to, let's figure out what's going on. But like some of the statistics in high school kids, the statistics haven't changed since 2012. Here we are 2019, and they're all the same back in 2012 of the help that's available towards students in middle school and in high school. I'm from Houston, the largest independent school district in the state, and here they have very few teachers or very few psychologists for the entire district. and that has to change.
Mhm.
If they only have enough that maybe once or twice a week somebody can see a counselor, and that has to change.
Do you think there's a difference between the mental health needs, or between the needs of a high schooler, like you're saying, versus someone who's suffering as an adult or as an old man or woman?
Well, when I was growing up, I'm 42, so that tells you I was told that we weren't allowed to have problems, only the rich could afford help. One thing I've always told my daughter as she was growing up, she just graduated high school, but I always told her, if you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. If it's not me, somebody. Don't hold it in, because holding it in can make it worse. So she was blessed to be able to speak with counselors in middle school and then again in high school. But she even saw a need that there is not enough. Her freshman year, she pushed to bring a psychologist teacher so that at least the teacher can speak with students if he needs to. But she pushed for it. She pushed for a whole year. She got it. Now that she's on her way to college, she's going to be doing the exact same thing. And she's going to be studying that and trying to help others to bridge that gap, because a lot of times she was the support for her friends in high school, and they need that. A lot of times the students are forgotten. Yes, it is stressful. We went through the same things, but I think things are a lot more stressful nowadays than they were when I was growing up in the 80s. So yes, we do need people to be able to talk to. They need to know that it is okay to talk to somebody, and the stigma of you can't get any help has got to go away.
My last question for you, let me just change this real quick. My last question for you is, you'll continue to look at me over here.
Okay.
What, or do you feel like those that, suffer from these afflictions should feel encouraged by the fact that the legislature is looking at it and trying to make improvements?
Yes.
Because a lot of times, like myself, I've lived in fear for over 12 years of, if the state found out I had depression and bipolar, they would take away my security license. I know many in law enforcement, they've got to go through the same things that I have to go through. And they see a lot worse things than I've seen. And some of the things that I've seen are pretty bad. And they will mess with your mind. You can't not see those things. You can't unsee them. So when you have to deliver bad news to a parent that their child has died, or anything along those lines, EMS, a lot of times we have to hide that just so that we live in that fear of, if the state finds out, they're going to pull our license. But now that the state is actually looking into what it actually means, trying to get better health care, trying to provide for these people, that we don't have to live in fear. We can express ourselves. We don't have to hide it, bury it deep down, and hope that it goes away.
Yeah, but I think...
Very well said. Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you'd like to say that
The organization is Lost Inside, and our motto is, you never know when a hug can save a life. I've proven that numerous times. I started that because somebody was on their way to jump off a bridge in Houston. They bumped me. I walked up to him. Instead of giving them a piece of my mind, something said, hug this guy. He hugged me, held on for a good long time. Met him 2 years later. He recognized me. I didn't recognize him. He said that hug saved his life and let him know that a total stranger cares. So I always say free hugs, because you never know. We all need that human contact.
all right? Well, thank you
I
very
love
much.
it. I love it.